Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. All right, Alexa, make all lights. Alexa, make all lights orange. Thanks. All right, here we go. We're live. Had a bit of a stressful day, so I'm just gonna chill out and do some lower energy than usual coding. All right, let's start by going to our diagram. Diagram is located at. Wow, it has been a stressful day. I forget the name. Lucid chart, I think it was called. Lucid chart. Now we've had some problems, and I say we. I've had some problems with this diagramming tool. It almost works. It certainly works better than a similar drawing tool that I was using called Draw.io. All right, we're gonna go to make this always on top. Just chatting, so that I can enter in my password here without y'all stealing it. All right. Get there. We're getting there. You know what I actually might do? I might turn off the noise cancellation from the mechanical keyboard. Maybe we'll do an ASMR stream. That let's just yeah, we'll turn that off. All right. Ooh, let's also, I want to be able to tell if anyone joins. So let us make this opaque. Let's shrink this down a little bit too. We've got like a little stat bar at the bottom that I'm setting up that you can't see. All right, there we go. At the bottom here, we've got our stats. All right. Here we are. So we'd previously talked. Ooh, actually, you know what? It's a goal of mine to upload a video on YouTube. Do I want to do that with this stream? I don't know. I'm feeling kind of stressed out. I achieved the goal whether or not it's any good. Yeah. We'll do an intro anyways. Hello everybody. This is Celestin, and I want to create a program that turns text into speech. Mind-blowing, I know. So I've got a bit of a background in this, not professionally, but I have fiddled around with quite a lot of text-to-speech software. So there are some paid options for this already. And the use case is mostly so I can create my own audiobooks or, you know, grab some articles online, make them listenable to. And I've had some hit and miss experiences with services like Speechify, which is an iOS app and an Android app. And also, there are lots of open source projects like Mozilla Text-to-Speech and a bunch of offshoots of Mozilla Text-to-Speech. There's basically a huge number of AI-based solutions for this that use different models, and I've tried a lot of pre-trained models, and didn't have a whole lot of luck with consistency. Some of the models sound really good sometimes, and then they mess up in the weirdest ways. And that's kind of what I'm trying to avoid now, but I found a service offering from AWS called Amazon Polly, and it does really solid text-to-speech. So I just want to make a quick app that basically allows me to access that for my own purposes, also maybe make it open source, host it up somewhere, and let people use it if they so want. So we found out last time that Polly has an in-browser JavaScript SDK. So hopefully all we need to do is code up a vanilla JavaScript application, and that will go ahead and access the in-browser JavaScript SDK. Then there was a little bit of setup that we did on the AWS side with a Cognito pool for authorization. I still don't know exactly where that fits in this diagram, but we basically set up an IAM role and an IAM policy that allowed our in-browser JavaScript SDK to go ahead and call AWS Polly. So why don't I actually just create an auth box? This will be auth. And then let's align this text to the top like that. And then in here, we can just kind of drop these things in because they all kind of work together. Let's send this to the back. Arrange. Send to back. All right. So we got a Cognito pool, our IAM role and policy. And then we can group all that. So this connects here. And finally, we're hitting AWS Polly. AWS Polly has many ways to get at it: CLI, REST API, and an SDK. And we're just going with the SDK because it's simplest to develop for. Polly also has some limitations. So we have 100K characters per request. The average book is 495K characters. The average chapter of a book is 27K characters. So basically, whatever service we create needs to be able to batch things in terms of chapters, break apart a larger work, separate it into chapters, submit the chapters one at a time to AWS Polly. And that's pretty much what I've got diagrammed down here in the functional diagram section. Though honestly, I don't know what a functional diagram is exactly. It's a lot of overloaded terms, or terms that I just invented, because this is a diagram of the function of the application. I should know this stuff, given my day job, but I don't. All right, so here we got a user, and let's say that they've got an Epub. It's just a very ubiquitous format. We also took a look at what the format of an Epub looks like last time. We dove into a little bit about what an Epub is, and turns out it's just some HTML, some XML, some CSS, and some other miscellaneous files for organizing those things all together. So it looks like actually a bit of a heavy format for our purposes, because we're only interested in the text. There's a lot of styling information in here that we're not really interested in. What we do get from EPUBs is some kind of chapter separation, but we don't know how uniform that is across all EPUBs. Took a look at one, and it looks like sometimes the chapters are all together in one file, sometimes they're not, so we don't fully understand the EPUB format. I assume, just because it would be reasonable, that EPUBs are, in fact, whatchamacallit? Do cleanly separate by chapter, because it would just make sense if you're designing a format to have it do that. All right, let's also get up our standard layout here of what we're working on. And, oop, oop. It's just in case anyone joins the stream and needs to know what we're working on. Okay, what's a good size for this? Maybe something like that. All right. So right now, we're just recapping the application. This also might be useful for anyone on YouTube that's scrubbing through. Oh, and this needs to always be on top. So I'm using an application called WinTop for that. We'll make this a bit opaque, and we will set it to always be on top. All right. So our service's name is Polywana because Amazon is AWS Poly, and I had to make a pirate joke. Ooh, you know what? Maybe we should design an icon. How about a bird with a pirate hat? Let's completely sidestep the actual coding and do something that we have not a lot of expertise in. Designing our application's icon. All right. So let's hop into what I call Photopea, but what actually might be called Photopea. And you know what? Let's just grab some. Icons. So let's find an icon for a parrot. I am not a designer by any stretch, so we're just gonna kind of throw something together real quick. Ooh, this parrot looks cute. All right. Is this a transparent pung? Let's hop into our workspace for this. Workspace, where is workspace? Users, workspace. Okay, Polywana. Icon design. And here we have our parent. All right. Hello, viewer. So let's grab that. See. Oh, we have a shortcut. Workspaces. Polywana. Icon design. Let's grab that. Let's drop it in here. All right, it's transparent. That's good. But let's fill it in actually, because we want it to be transparent, but we don't want it to be. We want it to have some body. Okay. So let's go ahead and start with white. And we will do this as simply as possible. We'll just create a new layer. New layer. And we will just grab a huge brush. And we'll just fill in with white here. All right. I want this to be on top. There we go. There we go. Perfect. Art. All right. I feel like I should be painting a happy little tree too. Let's make this a little bit smaller. Let's fill out the arms. And then we can choose a color scheme. And there we go. We have a parrot. Oop, no, we almost have a parrot. All right, I'm tempted to just complete this line here. We'll come back to that. So, first things first, we need it like a yellowy beak. Let's do, we'll do some really desaturated colors. Like a yellowy beak. And then let's grab some green. Okay. Like that. And let's go ahead and we'll make this green. Ooh, that is a really aggressive green. We'll go a little bit more muddy with it. And also a little bit more just saturated. The coward's way out of design. All right, here we go. All right, let's grab some red. This is exactly like a coloring book. My brush is too big, but I don't want to make it smaller. Not opacity, we need size. We need the size down a little bit. Like that, there we go. Perfect. Oh, it's not quite perfect. It's not quite perfect. It needs to be a little smaller. Just a little, just a hair. So we can fit it right here. All right, there we go. And let's say that, okay, we've got a red kind of body. Now we'll erase that. All right. Oop, 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 oop. Oop. All right, there we go. Now we've got a couple other colors to select here. I think we're just going to hop back to use this green. Where is our color picker? Color picker, eyedropper. There we go. We're just going to finish up on the inside here. Some green. Put some green here so it's not lonely. And all right, we're going to reuse this yellow for the feet. Bam, bam. All right, and then we are going to, yeah, we'll reuse the yellow for up here too. Nice, clean, simple. And now, let's grab just like a darker kind of orangey-ish, like not that orange, but something like that for this. Ooh, no, that's too aggressive. More desaturated, coward's way out. This. Nope, too aggressive. More desaturated and lighter. Okay. I think that we're going to achieve something simultaneously inoffensive and bland. Perfect. All right, and we're gonna yoink the red for the tail as well. Just like this. Yeah. There we go. Here is Polly of Polywana. All right. Now we need to spice this up a little bit. So we have an AI service. So let's see about robot voice. All right, so we've got some, ooh, that's kind of interesting. Let's grab this here voice box. All right, let's just copy this straight into Photopea. Nope. Nope. Can I just like paste it? Can I paste it? Haha. All right. So we need to get rid of this bottom bit. Okay, apparently our brush only wants to be so big. Yeah, we need to get rid of this bottom bit. All right, now we need to grab this. Make sure we got all of it. And do we have transform controls? Can we rotate? We can. Snap to grid. Let us shrink this down. Where's our shrink control? There it is. Shrink this down. All right. Set this back in. Let's give ourselves some more canvas size to work with. Just expand it out here. Another like 88 pixels. Yeah, 88. I think that math makes sense. Yeah, it does. All right, apparently did it in the wrong direction. I forgot about that. All right, perfect. Now, interesting, our selection stayed there. I fear that we've made this just a little too thin. A little too thin. We've shrunk it down a little too much. So let's first expand our canvas size. Now, I'm curious about my background noise levels because my computer is hopping up. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to turn back on noise. All right. All right. We'll deselect. And okay. Got this layer again. We'll yoink this again. We'll get our transform controls in. We will rotate it this way. Show this layer again. Select this layer. We'll just move this. I don't know why it does that. All right, so this thickness is actually about right. This thickness is actually about right. Let's just make our canvas bigger. Give ourselves another 100 pixels to work with. All right. So let's do this. Let's just fill this in with like a blue type of machiny color. Just like a this is a robot color. Create another coloring layer here. Layer. It is somewhat horrible and garish. Oof, we now that I'm seeing it all, we have created an abomination for sure. For sure. But it's our abomination. It's lovely. It's got character. We'll just clean up the edges a little bit while we're here. This. And then this is the edge that needs most cleaned up. All right, we have an icon. Let's save this down as a PSD. We will save this to, where's just our workspace? Let's make a shortcut here. All right, icon design. And let's just call this Poly. Also grab a PNG. And let's make this text a little smaller. And let's align it to the top. Center it. Then let us drag our icon in. That's not too bad. Not too bad at all. I just need to move this thing back down here. My preview. It's still working. Getting on. All right, we have an icon. Oh, inch, inch, All right, finished. I wonder, we're going to be representing stuff like this frequently. Maybe a simple Todoist list would work out for us. Yeah. Let's do it. I want to have a little hovery Todoist window. Okay, now we yoink this out. And then let's make this smaller. And then let us add a project. This project would be called Polywana. Add a task, design, apps, icon. And let's make this opaque, shrink it down, but also interact with it. And also that did not work like I thought it would. That got all kinds of messed up. Not everything is super simple. All right, perhaps we'll abandon that for now. Yeah, I think we will. All right, worth a shot. So we did this. Is Markdown of a strike through? Strike through. Oh, it's the tilde. A key that I can't hit on my 80% mechanical keyboard. All right. Good enough. Good enough. Ooh, I have a beer. Perfect. So as I was saying earlier, we'll design this, so now we're continuing our application recap. So we have a user, they have an Epub, send it to our service. Our service breaks apart the Epub into chapters. This is plain text. For each chapter, it sends it to AWS Poly. Then it collects the list of chapters, zips it up, sends it back. So, let's open up some code. Ooh, actually, before we open up some code, let's see if there's a JavaScript library for parsing Epubs. This is what we're working on. Is there a JavaScript library for parsing Epubs? There's a JavaScript library for everything, so I'm hopeful. npm parse Epub. It even knew. Only ebooks in UTF-8 are currently supported. That's fine. I think most things are in UTF-8. npm install Epub. Or if you want a pure JS version, I probably do want a pure JS version. I like developing, I don't know what this means necessarily, but I like developing in vanilla JavaScript. All right. Epub file path to the Epub, image web root, image URLs. This we don't care about. Is this optional? Chapter web root, prefix for chapter URLs. Epub is an event emitter. So Epub, so we do this let, and then it's waiting to parse. So this is just, all right, try to read the file, and when you're done, hop down here. And then we have get chapter. That's nice. That's exactly what we need. Function, error, and then text. We need this text. Oh, okay. Epub.parse. So we define what we do when it's done parsing, and then we ask it to parse. What I'm concerned about is this image web root and chapter web root, specifically this. If inside every Epub there is a different prefix for the chapter URLs, then that is information that we need to know ahead of time before we parse out the Epub. Basically information that the user of the service needs to know ahead of time. And it's not going to work out if they're going to have to dig into their Epub file, find out what some arcane prefix is, and then use our application to be prompted for whatever that arcane prefix is. So I think now we just do a little bit of experimentation. So let's open up our Polywana workspace. I think this is currently just full of example code. And when we tried to open up an Epub in here, but an Epub is an archive format, so it just got a bunch of binary bluff. Oh, and actually, let's just let's start up what we have right now, because we got this example code working, and we can serve it up and demonstrate. Yeah, just copy this path. Get an HTTP server, and then go to 8080. Search for 8080 on Google. Perfect. All right, here we go.
Hello world. Hello world.
Beautiful. I need to actually get some headphones so that there's not a lot of echo or whatnot. Question is, are they charged? Seems like they are.
Hello world. Hello world.
All right, we got that working. That's as far as we got. Now let's just, sure, inside main.js. Let's just get this installed. This has a package JSON in it, right? Poly. All right, so let us. Oh, okay. Let's cd into here. And now let's install. Okay, now we're trying to get the Epub parser npm package working. All right, so we just need to npm install Epub, no optional. Hopefully that'll do something eventually. Smaller. I'll do clean up the whole IntelliJ UI. Maybe not right now, but maybe one of these days. So now let's hijack this main.js. This is all Webpack. That's not what we want to hijack. We want to hijack this, poly.js. This is pre-build code. So we've got imports here. JavaScript packages is still something a little mystifying to me. Can we just do this? Import Epub from, and let's do just at. What did it add in our poly? We're just trying to get this. Oh, it's just Epub. All right. Import Epub from. You know what? I don't want to reuse this file. This is messy. Let's create a new epub testing.js. And close other tabs. There we go. So let us import, I suppose, epub from epub. No, does it not like it? Unused import. Okay, just unused. Unused constant. So one of these things is node style. One of these things, it's like your JavaScript ES6 module style. So I don't know which one of these will actually work. If we do an import, and then we just do this, and then we just call some blank strings here because we're expecting this to fail, but we're interested in exactly how it fails. And what I'd like to do is just this, epub testing.js. And that means that we should be able to see some stuff on the console here. I know, I don't know what I'm doing. 404. This up a directory. Cannot use import statement outside a module. Well, we can't use require. I'm not using, okay, well, grade that out. And then hard refresh. Require is not defined, of course. All right, let us webpack it. Here's our webpack commands. Do we have those saved? Webpack CLI, and let's do, come on, make it go all the way back. All the way back. Epub testing.js. Can't resolve epub testing.js. Okay, cd into the source first. Yeah, we'll overwrite the main file. That's fine. Can't resolve fs. Well, I don't know if this will work outside of a node environment. Okay, this is probably something that I'm gonna have to do eventually. Figure out node modules working outside of a node environment. We need to do a little bit of research. Use npm module in browser. I don't think this is actually possible because browserify. We don't want to add more to our build. Browserify again. Yeah, I just think that there's not parity between the two environments because Node, for instance, has access to like the file system and whatnot. And if you're just in a browser working with JavaScript in the browser, it's not going to have access to the file system and whatnot. So they're just two completely different execution environments for JavaScript. Okay, so let's look for Epub. Is there another library that we can use? I bet that these are all like real Node-like, like they're supposed to be used inside of Node. Epub, parser, browser, JavaScript. Oh, something for rendering. Rendering Epub documents in the browser across many devices. That looks. Rendering persistence and pagination. That looks nice. Epub standard. Ooh, we can just steal this for our Epub. Many books are currently in this format. It's convertible to many other formats. An unzipped Epub 3 is a collection of HTML files. Got some minified code. Set up an element to render to, create the new Epub, and then render it to that element. All right, so this is rendering, but do we have How to read Epub files using JavaScript. "404, that's not a good sign. This is where we just were. Okay, so we've got some render methods. Does it allow us to reference chapters? Let's take a look at the API documentation for this. So epub.js, we have a book, locations, navigation, page list, archive, rendition, hook, queue, layout, themes, annotations. Let's go into book. Okay. Yeah, section represents a section of the book. Most books, this is equivalent to a chapter. Find a string in a section. All right, load the section from its URL. So this is browser JavaScript. And I think that this will allow us to fiddle with EPUBs from within just the browser. All right. An EPUB representation with methods for the loading, parsing, and manipulation of its contents. I mean, I think that this project is pretty much where we want to be. So let's see if we can work with epub.js. See if we can work with epub.js in the browser. There we go. Install. Where's our install? Where's our npm? Get the minified code from the build folder. Oh, okay, cool. We'll do that. Where is the build folder? Is it in releases? Yeah, let's get the unminified code. We might need it. I'm gonna keep that. I'm gonna keep that show in folder. All right. Let's grab this. We'll paste it right in here. Doc SDK examples, JavaScript v3 example code, poly, and source epub.js. All right. If using archived epub files, include JS-zip. All right, we probably are going to. So let's just CDN that bad boy. Let's include the epub2. All right, so we've got our main file. We've got, this is just epub.js because it's not minified. Then we've got JS-zip. Create the new epub and then render it to the element. All right, create the new epub. How do we read an epub? All right, let's create a nice testing environment for this. epub.html. Let's yoink the things we need. Do we have an HTML snippet? HTML. All right, whatever. HTML, head, title, Epub testing, epub.js testing. Then we need a body. In here, we can make sure it's rendering this. So we'll put in a div. This renders. And then let us grab this. So we're loading in epub.js and then epubtesting.js. We don't need epubtesting.js. We could just do this here. JavaScript inside of the HTML. All right, what's this? Div ID equals area. All right, so we created our area to render this book to, and now there I am. There that is. And now we need an OPF file, URL/to-book. All right, let's look at what the constructor looks like for epub.js. API documentation, where was that? API documentation, perfect. Let's get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that. That. All right. URL path or array buffer. URL path or array buffer. Can we just do a path to something that is on the server? So if we just grab an ebook, like this one, page 73.epub, and then we just paste that inside of here. We don't need to look at it. But if we just do like page 73.epub, what are the odds that this will work? We've got, doesn't like shift tab. So we've got this area, this HTML file. It's being served on our server. We're pulling in this. Oh, we're missing one. Oh, no, we're not. Epub.js. We're pulling in epub.js, which we just downloaded as our library. It says it needed a dependency for dealing with zip files. I think we're working with a zipped Epub here. We've got our Epub pasted in here, and we want to render this out to the screen. Let's see if it works. Could not load content for the map. Okay. It did make an XHR request for it, and it succeeded. It's got a 200, so it's like the code is getting to the ebook, just nothing renders, and there's no console error messages, which is a little bewildering to me. Let's open up the GitHub, take another look at the example. We got this. Ours just isn't minified. We got this because we're using archived Epub files. We set up an element to render to, right? Div ID equals area. We're rendering to that. Your full example. Take a look at the source. Take a look at the HTML source. So we should be seeing some stuff like this. We're not seeing stuff like this. The question is, why? What is the difference? This also just, well, it's not an, yeah, it's just an XHR request to a .epub file. Ours isn't working. Is this executing at all? Does this block even run? Does. All right. Can we console.log out our book? Got a book. Ooh, wow, look at this stuff. All right, so this is our book. Locations opened. Is it pending promise? Okay, something's just up with the rendering of it because the library is hooked in. It's just rendering. What is var displayed? Pending promise. Global. It's still pending. Well, I mean, I don't know. Don't know. Does this have a full examples folder? If we just take a look at, all right, grabbing epub.js, got a div with an ID of viewer. The script is under that. Is that important? Do we have a solid epub? Let's download epub. What's it? Oscar Wilde. Epub. Page 885.epub. Maybe we just have a bad epub file. Page 885.epub. Let's try to load this up. All right, what else could it be? It's just a URI. What is this .opf though? I thought we could do zipped stuff. What if the zip library isn't working? What if we need to unzip this? So let's open this in and let's just unzip this. So now we want page 885 slash and then OEBPS slash content.opf. Content.opf. All right. Is that it? Weird. That is it. All right. So something is wrong then with our zip files. Does it have an example using zipped files? Search in here for zip. Source archive. Nothing in examples. Nothing in examples. Ajax loader. Okay. So this uses JSZip. Why do we need to point directly to the OPF file? Why can't we just point to the high-level zip file, the Epub file? That's what I'm confused about. See if we can use epub.js to work with zipped files. That's what we want. That is what we want. All right. So it shows us an example of it pointing directly to an EPUB. This is why I'm confused about why this didn't work. Page 885.epub. Do we need to do something else if we're pointed? Is there like an unzip function that we need to call? So yeah, this should be fine. Find locations for a book. Handles parsing and accessing an EPUB container. I mean, navigation parser handles package resources. This is all very arcane. Archive handles unzipping requesting files from an EPUB archive. Archive? All right. So do we have like our archive equals archive? Page 885.epub. Archive dot open. Tells JSZip if the input data is base64 encoded. I mean, this should auto happen though. Like, we shouldn't need to tell it. Like, it should just see that this is a zip file, like when we're trying to open it up. All right, but let's console out log out the archive. And then let's Google this, because someone has to have asked this question. It seems like a really basic question. All right, epub.js. Epub zip file won't open. Upgrade to JSIP 3.1.5. That's where I'm at. This is from 2018 though. Okay, they've got a getter. Okay. Do we... All right, a very basic setup. Example of Moby Dick book at .html. I'm extracting the existing Epub books using an unzip utility to expose the meta-inf OEBPS, MIME type, and the relevant styles inside it. To modify it next. All right, so maybe what we should first do is let's take a look at this example, because this example uses JSIP. I'm curious what would happen, because this uses JSIP, but it's not pointed to an EPUB. It's pointed to a .opf, or any of these pointed to an EPUB. This one is. EPUB.js archived example. Var book equals. Is it just our specific format that's not working? Like, will this work? Just pointing to an EPUB file on S3. All right, well, we got this bit. I mean, it feels like if ours doesn't work, then this has no chance to work. Let's just copy this, paste it, and replace this with epub.js so that it loads locally. And it's not going to load the CSS, but that's fine. Does this work? It does. Why? How? When? Where? We're using a bad example EPUB? All right, so let's download Epub for O'Reilly book. Just want like a free Epub from like download Epub programming. How to Think Like a Computer Scientist, 3rd edition. The book project. Books. CS principles. Epub. List of ebooks. Download Epub. What books do I own? Animorphs. Epub download. All right. Yes. 11 megs. That's quite something. Probably all of them. All right. Yeah, let's grab this. And we'll go here. We will paste this here. We will 7-zip. let's just rename this to like, no. I want to rename it. Let's rename this to 1.epub. Let's grab this. Put it here. All right, so we just want to grab this local zipped Epub and render it out. Can we? We can. All right, I'm just working with some wonky Epub. You know what might be happening? No. I thought I had a revelation. I didn't. All right, do a quick selfie check. 1 hour, 11 minutes. This is how little can you do in 1 hour and 11 minutes. We made an icon. That's something. All right. This is working now. It's working. Now let's see if we can grab the text. See if we can use epub.js to grab chapter text. All right. So book, I think was section. I don't know. The API documentation is a bit ugh. So can we just what's single full.html? So we're loading this. And then we're just like we're basically pressing next and pressing previous on something that already exists in order for some underlying function to hit the next and previous pages. I'm trying to like decipher where in here do they have text content. Oh no, this is just for the next and previous buttons. I'm trying to decipher where in here is there a hint about how we can grab out the text of a chapter. Let's see if there is a quick epub. Let's see if someone's done it. Grab chapter text. Use epub.js to extract. epub.loaded.spine.then. For each spine, we have an item. For each item, we have contents. Log the contents. Sure. So we have 3 artifacts. We have a spine, we have an item, and we have contents. There are 3 containers. Spine, we have item, we have contents. All right, so let's go ahead and copy this. Let's just go ahead and see if this works right here. Let's just do it. We'll just do it. All right, we don't care about displaying stuff. This we don't care about. This we care about. All right. Ooh. Uncaught in promise. This is not super promising. Can we dock this to the other side? This is not super promising. It's running into 404s. It's almost like it's assuming that the thing that we are giving it is already extracted because it's trying to do these. But we haven't extracted this. We're just passing it the file. Right. Who gets our little emoji of celebration here? Raphael's back. Will this work? Ooh, yes. Yes, it does. All right, now the question is, do these sections, so okay, so we've got like H1, H6, H2, okay, Applegate, we have a table of contents. All right, I'm assuming that these are all links. Yes, these are all links. Okay, is this chapter 1? Chapter 1. Chapter 3. Unexpected. Chapter 4. Chapter 5. Okay, did I just skip one? Chapter 1. Chapter 2. I just skipped one. All right, so it looks like this EPUB file at least is consistent when it comes to its. So each time we're logging out contents, let's add a separator in here so we know like what is a contents of an item. So let's do this is contents. I'll save this, refresh. Yeah, okay. This is good. This is good, 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 good. Now how do we strip all the HTML? That's essentially what we need to do, unless contents has a method for us that does that already. So let's see, where's contents? We have a section that's not even referenced here. This book load bind this book. We're doing some weird JavaScript binds and then contents. Item.load. So for each spine. So spine is, what is a spine? Does this not work spine? I want to see spine. I want to see the spine. Type of spine. A new collection of spine items. Interesting. All right. So let's see what separates a spine from another spine. What is a spine? Question of the day. What is a spine? What is contents? Okay, here we go. Oh, it's asynchronous. It's asynchronous. So that all the spines are getting, this isn't going to show us anything. Because what it's doing is it's going, all right, let's go through all the spines. And then for each of those that we went through, it's doing some very slow, methodical work that it'll finish later. This is where we get this. 27, what is a spine? Right. All right. Spine.each. All right, maybe we don't even need to know what a spine is. What we need to know is, does this give us like text? Get text. Handles unzipping a requesting file from an Epub archive. Okay. Well, that is not very related to this. Let's try it anyways. So let's do a var archive, lowercase archive equals archive. Let's also pass this to one.epub. Archive is not defined. We do epub.archive? Do we have to new up an archive? Okay. Well, that's off the table. What else do we have? Hook. Context. Context is not what we're interested in. Text. What's this? Annotation object. We don't care about that either. Text width, text height. We don't care about that. Mapping. We don't care about that. Index to text node. What's this get text? It seems promising. All right, do we have an example of an archive? Archived. Does this reference the archive? No. It looks like the archive constructor might just be an internal thing. Okay, how about embedded? Do we have archive here? No. Do we have archive anywhere here? Archive in this repository. Yeah, this looks... What's this? If book.archive, book.archive.create URL. What is this doing? Not what we care about. All right. We got out of this library, though, what we needed. This is what we need. Grab an EPUB and get all of its chapters in HTML format. All right. See if we can strip HTML or EPUB. There's JavaScript. Strip HTML. 2011. Is that? What is this? I don't understand why that regular expression would strip HTML. Okay. Okay. All right, but I guess it does. Cool. So let's define this function. Let's actually make this a bit bigger. All right. Grab an EPUB. Get all of its chapters. So this is step number 1. Step number 1. Grab an EPUB. Get all of its chapters in HTML format. And then we have a different commenting format. Step number 2, remove all HTML from chapters. So this is actually 1.2. Remove all HTML from chapters. There we go. Now in here, let us, before we log out the contents, well, actually, while we're logging out the contents, let's remove tags. Contents. Remove all HTML from this chapter. All right. Okay, we just need that. We actually don't even need our viewer right now. We don't need our CSS. Okay, this is our epub.js sandbox. I don't think we even need these meta things. Function to mysteriously remove tags. HTML tags from string. All right. Well, unexpected. Unexpected. I was not expecting it to complain about the format of, I thought this contents was essentially a string, but it's probably not. It's probably a DOM element, in which case, in order to get the... Actually, let's log it out. I know I should have a debugger or something, but... So this is an HTML element. So HTML element. JavaScript. HTML element to string. Inner text. Let's see if inner text actually works. Maybe we don't even need to remove tags. So contents. All right, so contents is an HTML element and has an inner text accessor. Will that strip out all HTML and just give us the text? Probably not. It'll probably just give us the text of the single parent code, contents.inner HTML. Oh, interesting. Remove tags, content.inner HTML. All right, how about this? This looks correct. This is a whole book, isn't it? Yeah, chapter 2. All right. Less than, greater than. So we want to convert these. This is URI encoding. So this is, there's some non-plain text elements here. And we want to convert them into plain text. Let's see if we can convert the Epub text into plain text. Replace encoded elements. All right, you know the drill. We're going to Google it first. JavaScript. URI decode. No, it's not URIs. It's because URIs is for, well, URIs. It's not URI encoding. I forget what that encoding is called. Like and greater than. These are HTML entities. Okay, so JavaScript replace HTML entities. HTML entity decode. All right. JavaScript, HTML entity decode. Decoding HTML entities with vanilla JavaScript. That's a weird ass hack. That is a weird ass hack. I love it. We're removing all HTML from this chapter. Let's make this. So this is let's just do a var. We're not doing lets. We're doing vars. So this is contents inner HTML equals contents dot inner HTML. So this converts HTML to string. And then we have our contents no tags equals, and this is remove tags, contents inner HTML. This is converts HTML string or strips tags out of HTML string. All right, so we're going to put our mysterious functions at the bottom. Function to mysteriously decode HTML entities like greater than 2. Greater than 2, greater than. All right. We are stripping the tags out of HTML string, and now we are decoding HTML entities in string. Var contents decoded entities equals, then we have decode HTML, and this is contents no tags. We have a 3-step text cleaning process, and then we are going to log out this. Yes? Oh, and then we're going to do console.log chapter over. Give us what we need. Yeah. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. We got some weird white space. So let's just look up a function. See if we can strip white space. Actually, from our text, strip excess white space. Let's challenge ourselves. Let's see if we can just do this. So All right, var contents, white space, trimmed equals, and we'll create a function, and our function will be trim white space. This one. All right, let's make our function. Function trim white space. Because we should actually do some coding here. We'll see. All right, so this is our input string. All right, and then for our input string, we need to, do we have a regex? Oh, I forget. Is it pattern? No, that doesn't look right. JavaScript regex. Oh, that's right. It's that weird. All right, we have a new regular expression, escaping, replace. All right, we've embarrassed ourselves enough. Let's just grab JavaScript. Strip, excess, white space. We can perfect things later. I don't need both ends. I need all extra spaces. This is perfect. All right. How we doing? Not great. Why? This should work, right? Should work. I mean, I don't think that was it because it could have been. I just want to get rid of the space. I really think that this is accurate. So I'm a little confused. Oh, it's because we're not logging it out. I knew it was something simple. Or, well, I didn't, but you know, I'll say that I knew it was something simple. All right, so we want, that's not quite what we wanted. We want any S's. What do we want? We want new lines, actually. So it's not any white space, it's like any new lines. So regex new line. How do you, what is the regex to match a new line character? Yeah, let's try n. How about n? Oh, this is n plus. Oh, this will probably not give us what we want either, but it'll be illustrative. There we go. N plus. We want to replace that with n. All right, I'll be right back. Bio break. Where's my scene switcher? We're back. We're making some progress. We are getting there. All right. So we want to replace one instance of n with, is this going to work? Probably not. I think we actually need to represent this in a string. This is a new line. Yes? Yes. So replacing multiple new lines all at once with one new line. Good. Got a little bit of weirdness here. All right. All right. Cool. This is our text. This is really cool, actually. We're parsing an Epub. We are parsing an Epub. All right. So we are grabbing an Epub, getting all of its chapters in HTML format, converting the HTML to a string, stripping tags out of that string, decoding the HTML entities in the string, and then removing excess white space. All right. I wish my shift tab worked here, but it doesn't. I just format the code. Oh, what's this? Var decode HTML equals function? That's weird. Function. The function to remove excess new lines from string. White space, and this is right now it's just new lines. We might want to make this a little bit more aggressive depending upon what other EPUBs we feed into this thing. All right, so why don't we wrap all of this inside a function? And that function will be function. Ooh, you know what we want? We want this in an array. We want an array of text where each element in the array contains a chapter. All right. Make our code function that flex chapter text into flex text book chapters into an array. All right, that's going to be a little iffy because this is some asynchronous weirdness. So can we just make this an async function? And okay, we're going to pass the, this is the Epub URL. And paste this text here. And then we are going to use the Epub URL here. And then we're going to call this function down here. So this is get, what do we call it? Async function. This is get Epub chapters. Chapter text. Full screen? Full screen. Yeah. All right. grabbing the Epub. Let's make this a little bigger if we can. And calling this get Epub chapter text. Let's pass it our what was our rule? This is one.epub. Save. So this should still work. Doesn't. Cannot read properties of undefined reading load. Epub. Well, I mean, I changed nothing. So this is the only thing that I changed. Why would it not like that? Did I start up a weird this context? Is it because it's wrapped in an async function? If I just make it a function, would it be okay? This .book is undefined now. Why? We undo all this. Does this work? Yes. All right. Some weird JavaScript this context stuff. So if we just define a function called get st, and then we grab this and we shove it in here, and then we call get the. It breaks. It breaks if we put the code in a function. But why? Probably because of this weird binding nonsense. This .book bind to this .book. All right, well, this was always going to come back to bite us. Bind method creates a new function that, when called, has its this keyword set to the provided value. So the question is, anonymous function here, anonymous function here, arrow function. That might even be more significant. All right, so what we're working on is, why does code break when wrapped in function? Weird. This keyword binding. Anonymous function here, anonymous function here. I mean, I just messed with it. This can't possibly have fixed it, right? I'm a JavaScript wizard. before. Mysterious this keyword. What could it mean? After. This keyword gone, everything works fine. All right. Now we're back. So can we go ahead and make this an async function? And can we pass in the Epub URL? And then can we call it with that URL? And then does it still work? Yes. Nice. All right. All right. So we're inside an anonymous function. So we need like a var, and this will be like chapters, and this will just be like an empty array. And then this is asynchronous though, but it's printing them in order. It's printing them in order. So somehow the ordering is preserved. I don't think it's guaranteed preserved actually, but I think that it happens to be preserved. So can we just do wait. Just make it synchronous. Okay, that's just a loop. Doesn't return a promise. This probably does. It has it out then. And then we're going to say chapters dot I don't know, append JavaScript append to array push chapter dot push. This will be contents, not space trimmed. Why does it not like this? Ah, they're in different contexts. So we define our array up here. This, way down in here, has no knowledge of this. So how do we make it now? How do we have it now? It must know. How to refer to refer to variable in outside scope. Refer vector variable from deep down in nested function. It is times like this when I really realize how awful of a programmer I am. I mean, this is like simple stuff. Okay, so we got this chapters up here. We can't pass it into these functions. I have to Google. I mean, we could define another collector function as an anonymous function. And we could I mean, we could quick and dirty it. Oh, wait, hold on. Hold the phone. Does this work? Was this never a problem? Could we always, was there no scoping issue? Was there no scoping issue? All right, so this is synchronous. Okay, so let's say that bar book chapters equals, then let's just log out our book chapters. Promise though. Is it resolved now? Book chapters. Fulfilled. Undefined. Undefined. Interesting. We are getting down here though, right? What if we log chapters inside of here? So we should be pushing things to it. Hmm. Returning? Ah, we're just not returning it. So if we go ahead and just return chapters here, should be fine. Yes? Yes. All right. We have our chapters. So let's clean this up a little bit more. Let's just get Epub chapter text. Epub URL. Okay. Epub URL. We don't need this. Bar chapters, bar book. We just do let. I mean, we could make it look more modern. That does do things to scope, though. This actually might introduce a scoping problem. Let's see. No, we're fine. Yes? We're fine. All right. Contents.inner HTML, and then we're going to remove tags. So really, we don't need all this fancy handling since we're only calling it here. So we're just going to yoink this. That's inner.html.replace. There we go. Don't need that. Then trim white space. We're going to do the exact same thing. Code HTML. This one's a little weird. I might actually keep this wrapped up in here because we're going ahead and creating this new text area, and this is a hack. It's the only child function though. If we just chain this, it's not better. Yeah, all right, we'll leave it. All right, fits on one page. That's nice. Still works. That's nice too. Well, that's a good stopping point as any. It is 1 o'clock. All right. So I think we are done. Recap at the end of the stream. So what have we learned? Well, we have made our icon, and we verified this bit. So this is complete. We're breaking things into chapters. The next thing that we need to do is send a chapter at a time to AWS Poly. So this is one. These are pending. Beans. Move things around a little bit. Just trying to clean up before we sign off here. Can this go down a bit? Like all of these. These don't necessarily need to change. Like that. This. Okay. And you know what? This can go down again as well. Then we could just re-anchor this to the center. And that doesn't look too bad. Functional diagram. What does application do? Just cleaning up for next time. Getting things a little nice. Make this a bigger. Add in a horizontal separator. And let's have a line. I guess we don't. Oh, no, we don't want to do all that. Let us add a rectangle just to contain some of these questions, and this is all about formats. And this is ebook. What's ebook? Huh? Grab this stuff. Bring it to the front. Put it in here. This is Epub. Epub.js. Listing library or parsing. Epubs. Right. Now we've got some limitations of the poly service. We've got a technical diagram. Technical diagram. How does our application work? Got some AWS poly limitations. These bring them to the front. Here. All right. Put those together. Bring this over here. It's together. Oh, I have a limited number of items on my Lucid shirt. All right, whatever. Okay, the last thing that I want to do is just swap these two. So that what does our application do? No. This is fine. This is fine. We one page it. Doesn't look like it. We could do this. That. Do this. Yeah. I know. Right. So we have a user sending in a book, an Epub. That. This can go a little. Nope. This can go just a little further over. We have a functional diagram. And over here, hopefully if we made enough room, we can put this information. And shrink it. All right. Well, I think we're at a good place to stop for the night. Thank you, Soul Viewer or TwitchBot, for joining me on our application journey. So we have done this bit, breaking things into chapters. We also figured out our format and kind of sort of gotten this far, though we do need to actually get to this flow and give the users like an ability to upload or send an EPUB into the system. Then we might have to do some weird stuff like reading it as a blob rather than a URL and sending it into the epub.js. And then we'll get to this stuff, sending a chapter at a time to AWS Poly. Till